For the assessment, I had planned to make a piece which was interactive and which demonstrated the experience of facing different directions and enabled people to sample those directions either by looking at something or feeling something or hearing something. Unfortunately, I didn't have the resources to set this up in the way in the installation that I'd hoped. So I adapted the ideas and adapted the show to be as interactive as I could, that still contained the elements of direction and enabled people to participate. Part of this meant expanding into not just one piece, one direction, but a number of different little compasses were set up. 3 of them inside and 1 outside. The first table contained the pottery compass. I collected and processed wild clays from each place, and after some experimentation produced these pots as direction catchers. Laid out according to the compass direction, each piece here was decorated using materials gathered from the extreme point which I had visited, and as the piece evolved, contained references to something or some things that were unique to the place from which they came. The centrepiece shows all the clays. This is an example from the southwest. This is from the east, showing the sunrise. This is from the southeast and shows the arrow from the Battle of Hastings, made in iron filings, and the boat that I saw on the beach. The second table contained the extra raw materials that I had collected, such as shells, stones, or driftwood from the beaches, worm castings, and my piece of resistance, an ancient arrowhead found, ironically, when visiting the centre of England, a mile or so from Morton, in the Peak District. The third compass was a circle of images of the views taken looking out to sea. These were arranged in line with the direction they represented, and originally they were to include the sand and the sound of the place where the photographs were taken. Their placement was such as to invite the visitors to enter the compass and to engage with it as they chose, so they were spread apart and people had room to move around. Each picture was backed by a text on a theme that had arisen during the investigation. In order to assist the viewers, a map was erected indicating where each picture was taken so they could move around this shrunken island and see where they were going. The back of the map contained some sound bites resonating from my journal, the reflections of each place. You may notice that the images that I took for each direction had become symbols for those directions in the exhibition. Last of all were 2 tables, both of which contained examples of materials that had been developed or used during the process of the field study. The first table contained notes, pages from my diary, pictures, and so on. The last table was to show the experimentation of the primitive pottery I had undertaken, and was also used to collect the feedback from the viewers of the exhibition and of the dance. Outside, the last compass was laid out using pieces of buddleia to mark each direction. Originally, we were going to move out the images to have a station for each of the compass points. But in the end, it was decided that that would be too distracting from this space. So we just had the open space of what's known as the sand pit in that area by the exhibition, and people could participate by watching and then joining into the dance, which can be seen in a separate video.